That the link changed each time. I figured it was like Zoom, it was the same link all the time.
Everybody is still arriving, so we're just gonna give it a few minutes.
So how many, 21, 22, 23, 24?
I'm not doing a good job.
I understand how you don't feel grounded.
No.
Hold please.
Tuesday, what happens on Tuesdays? I'm like, post the agenda. That was my first thing this morning.
Beautiful.
And I was just like, oh, he showed me the other day, but I didn't write anything down. So I got to a certain point and I'm like, now, how do I get it to them?
20?
So Elisa was here and I'm like, Elisa.
I'm trying to look up historical
Yeah,
emails.
I'm guessing that you probably just copy
On
and
my
paste
really
the
slow
link. I'm
network.
like, okay.
I said on my really slow network.
Oh.
It worked.
She's
You
like,
did it.
send it to me first and make sure it works. I'm like, okay. I'm like,
Hi, Joe.
so meanwhile,
you're doing a great job.
Long time no see.
I know.
I'm just
You
like,
okay with it?
why are you doing this to me?
Oh, just Ducky Dewdrops, thanks.
He'll be, yeah, well, he'll be on Zoom, yeah. But now,
Joe, how's it going?
the town, human resources.
Hey, John.
Josh, you made it.
Yes.
I thought you said you weren't gonna be here.
My schedule got messed up.
Today.
So I'm here.
Well, thank you.
I don't know if you left.
I'm glad you're here.
Yeah, that's, I dropped that. Drive the
Well, we
website.
can't do that. We can't do that.
Yes. Were you able to see
I saw that things were there. and I
the
looked at a
things were
couple
there?
So,
Okay.
is he
And I
just-
added your folder as well
Awesome, thank you.
for the
Yeah,
That's
have-
comments
have the
from
same
residents.
Yeah, I'll forward
I
you.
don't see any. Joe, do you happen to know
And I'm
the,
just sitting there like,
What's in this?
I don't know, so I'm
Yep.
like.
I went 20 something because, no.
So,
Password, Wi-Fi password,
don't look at me, I don't work here.
oh, Highland,
hi, yeah.
Highland 18,
Highland 18?
Oh, could be 18. Tom thought it was what, 21 or something?
Yeah.
Well, it increments like every so often. I don't know. Silent something.
Yeah, that's true. So yeah, so it's like Lee's on vacation, which is supposed to help me facilitate all of this, so
There's nobody online yet, so I don't think we're holding anybody up.
I'm telling you. Sorry.
Yes, no?
Did everybody hear me? Preston will not be here today. Okay,
So, anyways, that's the next.
that work?
Oh, no, we haven't.
so what do you say?
HR just found that today, so. But I want to do the job description.
So if I'm at 51.
So,
Yeah.
many moving parts to this.
You mean for a different title?
Yeah, I'm over about it, yeah.
I want
Now
to
I
put the
see.
title of a different job.
Welcome.
Right, yeah. So you-
I know.
I love that. Clearly,
I don't
you
think he
need
does
to
that.
find a hobby. This is your best use of Tuesday nights. Okay. Well, then welcome. Oh, Kevin made
You
it.
even kept the name tag too. Oh, Did you bring any ribs?
I didn't even get, I got one little sandwich at the end. That we were, Charles River Chamber. Charles River Chamber of Commerce.
They had Blue Ribbon Barbecue.
Yeah.
Why are you here?
But I know it's. I don't know what it was. Otherwise, you're right, you belly up to this. Do a mailing address.
No, I did it.
Didn't I just get one of these?
Yeah.
Is it
Yes.
different?
No, it's the same thing.
Did I have?
I
two?
just did a printout. No, I just did a printout for you of something I added to this.
It's magical. That was good. Beautiful night, actually.
I'm not gonna.
Okay.
I didn't
You
even
can
need
feel
a
free to
code.
Yeah, you're a Needham, you have a Needham .gov.
Thank you, because I don't need another code.
It's a one, it should be a one-time authentication password is what you're looking for.
Me?
No, not you,
Okay.
but one outside of.
Because I'm like, you just let me.
Think about 3 different codes, I think that's what we were. Because they only, they said, you know.
You give me a call. I can give you my number if you need it. You feel free to give me a call. Tomorrow is not the best day. I have meetings from 8:30 to 4
Don't worry.
with like 1
Tom
hour.
had sent everything, probably everything in his. um,
Everything for tonight's meeting, yes, but the additional documents and review stuff you might want to use is in that, is on that website. As well as the link to all the previous meetings, all the videos and things like that.
So
If-
Janine's online, do you want to promote her?
My apologies.
So did someone contact you about wanting to dump their stormwater onto someone else's property?
Yeah.
How'd that go?
They just want to create an easement between the two parties, well, that's what they asked me about.
Hmm.
So I said, creating an easement between the two landowners, that's an attorney and,
Yeah, no, he
Hello,
wants to
Janine.
take his flooding problem and dump it on someone else's private property.
Hello. Sorry, I'm having technical difficulties here, but I think you're muted.
Mute you.
Yeah.
Did I? Oh, I did.
Okay.
Okay. Mute me. How's that work?
That's great. Thank you.
Okay. Were you able to check out if your link to the site worked the second time around?
I did. Yes, I was able to get in. Success.
Fantastic, wonderful. I love what you're saying.
Should we open the meeting before we?
I was gonna
Okay.
say, let's
Yeah.
just call the meeting to order and whatever you're
Call
gonna
to
do.
order the Stormwater Working Group meeting for July 23rd, 2024. On my agenda, but we have to, we have everyone on board? We have to roll call.
Yeah, so yes, I will update, I have the agenda up. And I can share it with us. Oops, minutes.
Okay, let's do a quick roll call. Janine, are you here? All right.
Yeah.
She's,
Sorry.
Joe,
Yeah.
John?
Yes.
I'm here.
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 Tom here.
Thank you. So. All right, next we have to approve minutes for the last meeting. That's is that July 1st?
No.
No, that was the 15th.
I'm sorry, got it.
For the 15th.
Yeah, I'm sorry, yeah, 15
Yeah,
minutes.
for 7:15.
All right.
I did put the meeting minutes or Tom put it in the email, so you should have received them. Does
Yeah.
anybody have any comments to the meeting minutes from 7?
I put my critical eye on them and they look good.
Oh, good, all right. Yeah,
I did notice there was a D missing though. I
Oh.
noticed it says noticed.
There's a
She was like
D
a hawk.
missing.
She reviews
where-
our conservation.
Where am I
Ooh.
missing a D?
It's not important. It's, I think it's maybe in the first paragraph. It just was, I think it should have been noticed rather than noticed, but it's not a big deal.
But I'm not the only one.
Notice, not noticed.
It's not a big deal.
This one, it's no, it's supposed to have a D?
Noticed our
Yes,
documents.
yes, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. not a big
Done,
deal.
fixed,
Okay.
save, approved.
any other comments? So is there a motion to approve the minutes as amended?
Move.
Second,
Second,
all those in favor? Oh, we have to do roll call. Janine, how do you vote? Are you approving the minutes? Yes?
Approve. Yes, and also Kimberly, do you mind? I just switched from my phone to my computer. Can you approve my other account as panel?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Do that. Okay. Joe,
I think I have to abstain because I wasn't here.
that's all right. Fair enough.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah,
yes.
Debbie, yes.
yes. Debbie?
Tom, yes.
Yes, thank you. And I vote yes. So,
Excellent.
all right.
And she's back.
Okay. Next, we have the discussion of the current bylaw. Now, I didn't quite explain this. For each section, determine which of the 6 minimum control measures it addresses.
So in the task list that we had distributed last week, we had discussed doing like just a review of the actual existing bylaw to understand what each section belongs to. So I just have it correlating to the 6 minimum measures. However, it may or may not actually correlate to that. It very easily could be not applicable to that and be something completely outside of any of those. But just so we all have a very clear understanding of what the bylaw, or a clearer understanding of what we think the bylaw was trying to achieve and trying to accomplish. So that moving forward, when you review or look at other bylaws, you can adequately assess if something should be changed, might not be changed,
Okay.
could be improved, made better, different, stricken completely.
We just review the 6 minimum control measures.
They are at the end of that printout that I sent you. Yes, all of them are on there. Janine, if you would like to see the document that I have handed out to everybody, I don't know where she go.
Here.
Oh, there you are. Okay. You moved off my window. The minimum control measures I have saved in the documents folder under bylaws and regulations. It should be the first document you see. It says current bylaw review. So you can follow along if you'd like to.
Got it.
Well,
We'll do-
I would say you
Thank you.
probably should.
Can the order of these 6 are different from what's in the Wikis permit that I saw online?
They might be in a different order. It's just, they're the same exact ones though. If they're in a different order, if they're the same topics, just maybe somebody put them in a different order. Yeah. Yes, they are all that. Those are the 6 topics altogether. Okay, so what I did was I just took the bylaw essentially and put it in different, in a grid for you, so it's a little easier to look at. And if you want to review it, I put the category at the top of the section, if that whole section applies to one thing. If you feel like one specific piece of it applies to something else, obviously, I'll add a number to the right of it. Does that make sense? I just thought it looked a little busy with that many checkboxes all over the.
Want me to share this
page.
so Janine can see it?
She can see it, I believe.
Yes.
Janine, do you have the document up in front of you?
Yes, I'm in the SharePoint. I'm good. Thank you.
Oh,
Because she's amazing, Tom. She's got it.
all right.
She's got this. Okay, so if you guys want to start and go ahead and go through, I don't know if
Okay.
you want me to direct you or if you would like to
Yes.
direct on your own.
Let's see how we do.
Okay.
7.1 purpose. The purpose of this bylaw is prevent pollution, means wetlands and surface waters from uncontrolled stormwater runoff and illicit discharges. Any takers on 1, 2, also 3, 4?
And feel free to check off note in the box.
Yeah.
It applies to one of them.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's mostly the illicit discharge. Detection and elimination. Number 2. I mean, basically for everything.
Yeah, I mean, the only question is a public education and outreach. Is it public participation and involvement?
I actually don't see much education and outreach in this bylaw.
Okay, although that's one of this bylaw's purpose.
No, that's one of the NIPD's permits purpose.
Okay. Okay,
What about number 4?
post, yes, I would say that too.
Which was in the.
Post-construction runoff control.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
So what do we have for numbers?
1, 2, 3, 4.
Oh,
If anyone wants to add others. All right. B, to prevent pollutants from entering the town of Needham's municipal separate storm sewer system, MS4. I think also
I
called,
do.
Yeah, that's certainly illicit discharge. You know the
Right.
Thank you.
That's the one, when I was reading through one, it seemed like it was about town-owned land specifically, like town buildings. Did I read that differently than?
What number one is?
That's the good housekeeping and pollution prevention for permit.
From municipal
Yeah, municipal
operations, which is usually over here. Okay.
Yeah.
Municipal.
No, but I read that as pollution prevention / good housekeeping for municipal operations. Is it two things?
I think it's specific to municipal.
Yeah, this is for, well, so these numbers are for our MS4 permit, so the system that we're operating, the town and the town's right away and easements. So that's specific for our permit. And how we address those who are connecting, like overflow or surcharging. How do we add them into that? So for
Right.
good pollution, good housekeeping, pollution prevention, good housekeeping measures.
Many other things I saw in the permit, like, the town has to have a plan for open spaces and parks, like maintenance plans regarding fertilizers and pesticides, and herbicides, and things like that. It was like a long section.
Yeah, stormwater pollution prevention plan, yeah.
Mhm.
You've developed a few of those too well, you helped.
We have all of them.
Yeah. Parks and Forestry.
We're working on the final one, which is the phosphorus control plan right now. But we have the operations and maintenance plan, stormwater management plan, IDDE plan, and something else in there. Can't think of it.
Are you able to post the ones that are already there on the website?
They are on the
They're on-
website.
okay,
And those,
sorry, I missed
that's
those.
quite all right. They're on the MS4 compliance documents page. The only reason the O&M one is not there is because we are updating it. It was the original one that we had was from 2018, and we are currently updating that, and we're in finalization on it, so it should be up there in the next month or so. We're just having final reviews, and we need to put it out for public comment for 30 days. So, yes, but they're out there.
So right now, we're supposed to be going through these and determine
Just determine what section they belong to, that they do apply
of
to the
these
permit.
sections.
Yes, they apply to the permitting. They may not apply to the permitting. It might just be something that Needham has put in there for our own benefit, something we've
Right.
decided we needed to address with stormwater. Or not. We're not going over the content of it as to what it says right now. We're just going over what sections do they apply to, so we know where there may be major holes
Okay.
or overstatement of things in our current bylaws, if that makes sense.
Okay. Yeah, they were tallying them up. Yeah.
Yeah, and when you look through the example,
template.
bylaws, the
Yeah.
template that was provided by Beta and
Right.
has been uploaded to that site as well for reference, and or look at any other town bylaws. If you see any that have a point or a statement in it or something that you like particularly or would like to see or think we're missing and out, that
Right.
should definitely be brought up in conversation.
But to Josh's point on number one, pollution prevention / good housekeeping for municipal operations. Are we only limited to municipal operations, or do we have? Is there any,
So, yeah,
that
so this
seems
number
very,
one,
very, very narrow.
it talks about municipal operations.
Yeah, so that's
Oh,
for,
yeah,
that's for our MS4 permit.
That's just.
That's for the permit
specifically
itself, yes.
Municipal.
Yes.
It's not
Just
the
private.
permit is just allowing what we can do as a town.
Okay,
It doesn't say what a
But we
town
could
can
go
allow a
beyond
private
that.
sector to
yes,
do.
all right, so,
But we're
So like
responsible for it.
B, we would include that then. Brett was remembering the town needs municipal separate storm sewer system.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I would also say, B would be education and public, 5 and 6. It's education, because it's talking about discharge of the need, from entering the needs.
Sure.
yes.
Whatever you feel like it should
Yeah.
be, we can discuss further later on down the line what it is. I just think we're just trying to get an idea of what they.
Do you
apply
want to tread through these one by one, or do you want to just start going at it yourself?
Yeah. I'm not sure where we're gonna end up with this exercise.
To me,
I
it was
mean,
just
we're really
reading through and
trying to-
making sure we understand what it is.
Yeah.
The next exercise, the next part of it, to me, and again, you guys decide if you want to do it a different way, because it's totally up to you. To me, the next exercise would be to look at the template and
Yeah.
compare the two, finding where their template might pick up, where we may have skipped and may have missed our
Yeah.
in our bylaws, or not covered completely, or over covered, or
Right. I know, I ran the template and our existing bylaws side by side on the screen, just
Yeah.
to sort of read them across.
Yeah.
And the existing one has a lot more definitions than the beta version.
Yeah.
And so I was like, oh, I like that. I'm surprised. I thought Neems was more comprehensive on definitions.
Yeah.
But beta had a lot more other stuff that was good, so.
yeah,
If this helps you, we can do this if you think, let's.
it's for your benefit. It's not for me whatsoever. If you don't feel this would benefit you, it's up to you.
I think the biggest value is to see if there are any of the 6 that were not currently being covered in the bylaw.
Somewhere. at the bottom. Not
Somewhere.
necessarily here.
Yeah.
Yeah. It doesn't really matter how many times it gets.
Yeah, it doesn't
Checked
really
off.
matter. We're just trying to make sure that we understand if we have any major gaps that are not being addressed,
If you,
we are aware
All
of
right.
what that should happen.
How about each of you just read your sheet, go through it, and then
Round table.
5 minutes, 10 minutes, we'll just say, is there any gaps? Is anyone spotting gaps? Would that work?
Mhm.
Would that work?
Yep.
Okay. Work.
Pencils up. Just kidding.
yeah, but almost in a way, to me, my mind works in reverse. It's like if you started with the 6 minimum controls, and you want to be sure that they are covered in the bylaw. So are they covered somewhere in the bylaw?
Mhm.
It's really what we're.
Yes, and there's nothing
Yeah.
to say that
Right.
the bylaw can only cover the 6 minimum controls.
Correct.
It's just at minimum, at base, what needs to be in there.
Okay, so we just make sure we think.
Correct.
So another way would be to, go through the bylaw and be sure that it's covering, go through section by section and
Yeah.
figure out. So,
The exercise was really also to make you guys think about if something applies to one specific area of those minimum controls, perhaps it's over covered, like we've stated it too many different ways and it can be confusing,
Okay,
is my point.
all right, want to give it a whirl?
Sure,
All right.
sure.
5 minutes?
Everyone want to read through and try to number it of where you
Number
think it
between 5
belongs?
minutes, just yourselves.
See where you think it
Number
belongs.
all of these in 5 minutes to ourselves.
Yeah,
Just the purpose you're talking about.
it's speed reading.
Your
Student-
synapses must be firing better than mine, because I'm still on the second one going.
He had blue ribbon barbecue
I did have
today,
blue
so
ribbon.
he's like on it.
Kim, can
Janine, are you okay with this exercise?
Are we assigning 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on the current bylaw?
Yeah.
Or are we looking for gaps?
Yes, on that sheet, I have like check boxes next
Yeah.
to each of the sections. So if you think that section applies to whichever minimum controls, those are the check boxes.
Right, it's like taking the SATs and you realize you haven't filled in the B in a while, so then that one.
You go back and fill in the B.
Okay, I got it.
But there can be more than one category, I guess?
Yes, so you
Right,
can, you
okay.
can use as many checks as you want for whatever it's covering.
But you're really, you've got your little squares at each major category purpose.
Yeah.
You're not looking for us to go through
No,
Oh, you're not.
no, I'm
which is
not.
why we started down the trail. and I thought, We got a lot of
Oh.
definitions
This
to get
section, what
through.
does this section do?
Yeah, that's good.
And
And then
Okay,
what
that-
does this section do?
That we can do in 5 minutes.
The
Oh.
only,
I only need 2.5 minutes.
Right, okay.
the only,
Just
under,
2.5. Okay, that's fine.
the applicability section, there are under headings, I guess I call subheadings So I put the checks at the subheading level because
Oh,
that content under the subheading might be different than the rest of the whole
Gotcha.
entire thing.
gotcha.
Okay,
Now it's making sense.
okay, so only where the check boxes are.
Okay.
Okay.
Are you
Does
considering
you
what it
need
might
a
be?
copy?
I need the categories themselves, I don't.
It's at the end of your
It's the
document.
last shit,
It's the last.
yeah, last page.
Okay, all right. So I thought you were looking for.
I can put them up on this, or
So
Tom can put them up
tear
on the
that
screen
off
if you
and-
prefer.
Put it up here so you can.
Those are the categories.
Okay.
I thought you needed a copy of the bylaw, so.
The whole bylaw is in this document.
Yeah, and I have mine with me.
And I have NA there too, because it may not apply to or fall under the categories of a minimum control measure. So the purpose of the bylaw doesn't necessarily, isn't a minimum control measure. It doesn't need to be in there for that purpose. So to me, that first section would be NA if I was doing the review.
Yeah.
50,000.
Mhm.
We're starting at the top and then we're gonna whittle our way down. And then once we come to a consensus, after you go through the sections with each other, that's when I'll check it off on mine. It is, my thinking is that. purpose of the purpose section isn't defined by the minimum control measure, so it's not applicable. Because it doesn't, it's not there for the purposes of being a minimum control measure.
I need to go in the forest. Where it's safe with plants and animals and things like that.
This is good.
It's sort of intro
All right,
color.
so either it's all of them or none of them.
Potentially, or it could be one or two.
I need more strict parameters.
I'm sorry, I should have written that, I should have written it out, I guess.
Okay.
I thought last time we met, it would be agreed to. What it was gonna be.
It's
It's
been,
fine. You've been busy, Nick. I get it. I get it. Yeah, you've had some trouble this week.
I have had problem. I should really give you.
So like to me, definitions, it's not part of the minimum control.
So this one. The issue authorities, conservation commission, also determining compliance with this bylaw for any application. And then says the director of public works will review permit applications and provide an advisory opinion to the issuing authorities. That mean like Karis is gonna chime in on conservation commission permits?
I think potentially she could.
Is
Only
that what
because,
that means?
only because the DPW administers
Is-
the NICP's permit.
It sounds like it's like an advisory position.
Yeah.
But
However, the content, at this point, we're gonna discuss the content in a future meeting. I just need you to get that down. You only have 5 minutes.
But I
you
only
can do it in
needed,
2.5.
I only needed 2.5.
Exactly.
I'm already done. I'm just pretending I'm still working on it.
She's trying to make it look good. She's trying to look like one of the cool kids.
I don't
She didn't
want
want to
everyone
be,
else
she
to
didn't want to be
feel
done
bad.
too fast.
Sometimes teachers that's too far.
Exactly.
That's intriguing.
Yes, we will get into the nitty-gritty of all of that stuff. At this point, you're just trying to figure out if the topics and sections apply to 216.
Not only does she live across the street, but then she has to-
Yes. Yes.
All right.
She'll be over to your choice,
We coordinate our
lunch and breakfast options. So make the second one, that's one more. Would probably be. Construction, loft control, and construction.
Mhm.
So those two to me would be most effective.
I would agree.
Okay, see? And then right underneath your. That right under the two under your corner. So under applicability, there's two different sections that you're looking at.
And I think,
This one here, this section,
mhm.
permit and approvals. We haven't been doing control measurement. And this one should be under one.
Show permits for business. Just there.
I'm just saying, I'm not on this committee, I'm not here. I am saying. Should I play the check?
Please do. Oh, we have the same waiver language. Yeah. What? Same waiver language.
Yes, that's what I did, yeah.
So it's 7:33 now. If I call it at 7:40, do we think we'll be ready? It's another 7 minutes.
Last page.
That's fine. Mr. Winston.
So just where the check boxes are. That's what you're checking.
Right here.
Right, yeah.
You didn't get the memo? Oh, no. This is all these, we're not doing the in-scope and we're doing sections. Purpose section. You're checking off.
We're checking up here.
And definitions.
Kind of like the SATs. Which one do I check and how do I fill this out? The train left the station. At 7:04.
On it.
At 7:04. And the second train. Took off to Tahiti. Where did they meet?
Yeah. All right, we'll just wait for you.
So cute.
Yeah.
How you doing, Janine? Do you have any questions?
Working through it.
Okay, great. No problem. Are you clear on that we're only marking like the sections, like where the boxes are next to the section name?
Yes, not every single row, right?
Not every single row, no, just a general idea of what that section
Just the
is.
headers and the subheaders.
Correct, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Got it.
I clearly was not as clear as I thought it was.
Yeah, we got that.
I was trying to keep it a short meeting because you guys were here last week.
Yes. True.
We will grade responses on curve.
A bell curve.
Yeah.
That would be nice.
Okay, 5 more minutes and then we'll review it. Okay.
Oh, is there a reason that we don't have Karis as part of the working groups? It's every other word is the director of public works. in there.
Yeah, that's right.
You the
I
next-
have an idea.
You're the
said.
designee. Are you the designee?
It is a huge job. I'm astounded about it. Keeps coming up direct play.
Hmm.
Yeah. The long and the short of it is, it just means that she doesn't necessarily do day-to-day everything, but she is ultimately responsible and will be the one yelled at and fired if we don't do it correctly.
Yep.
That essentially is what it all says. So note to self, hire people you know, trust and like. 'Cause they're gonna have to take care of you.
Yes, I'm feeling that personally
Yeah.
right now. Thank you.
See, maybe it's your downfall. You hired somebody really good, very capable, and extremely wonderful. So now you can only go down from
Yeah,
there. There's nowhere to grow.
I know. I'm gonna hold out.
He's exceeded all expectations.
He
How
has
did
2
it?
months to figure out he made a mistake.
I
and
know, I
come back.
reiterated it on the phone.
Did you?
Still holding this job.
Yeah,
I told
he
him,
hasn't even cleaned out his cubicle yet. So,
I told him,
My second in command, Clay Hutchinson,
He
he's
left.
apparently, yes, pretty much.
Oh, that's too bad.
as of right now,
Yeah.
yes.
I'm well aware. of it.
That sucks.
And
I like to look like.
Huh?
You looking?
Not yet. This has just kind of occurred. So he's gonna try to stay on part-time to help me facilitate our Zoom meetings and other transition things. While we figure that out, and I'm hoping to update the job description as well. So there's lots of moving pieces before someone actually,
Right.
you know. So,
I told
But
him
he is
working from
missed.
home is possible and it's good.
yeah, I know, I tried
With
everything,
the exception of your conservation site visits, everything else should be fine.
and I'd be willing to do all of those.
See?
Stay on.
I told him that too.
Yeah. Well, we've been waiting for our conservation truck for 2 years now.
What about your conservation canoe? Did you ever get one of those?
Well, we don't have a truck to transport it anywhere, so it's kind of a mute
You're just
point.
supposed to hump it around, like have
Oh
two
my
people go on their
God.
shoulders.
Well, I'm currently driving my leased vehicle on all of my site visits, so I'm putting my miles on. Not,
Okay,
not
1 minute and
not the
counting.
best scenario.
It's like a true test.
Answers down.
And, not just kidding. Kidding, totally kidding. All right, are we okay to go ahead and review, or does anybody need some more time? You think we're good?
We're good.
Good as we're gonna get.
Okay, sounds great. All right. Janine, you okay? You with us? Got it. Great. Thumbs up. I like thumbs up. Okay, so purpose of the purpose section. Where. I don't know how you want to do this. Does everyone want to go around and say what you chose for a section? Purpose, Joe?
All
Oh,
six.
All 6. Okay,
Yeah.
John,
Same.
all six,
Same.
all six.
Oh, no, I disagree. I mean, I said 2, 3, and 4, because I don't see anything related to the municipal system specifically,
Yeah,
or public participation, or public education. So I said 2, 3, and 4.
Okay.
For the most part, actually, for the whole bylaw, 2, 3, and 4 is heavy. I see it heavy on 2, 3, and 4.
Very possible.
Yeah.
which is interesting that public education, that we all know is important, is not in the purpose of the bylaw currently. In terms of
Sure.
public education, the words that in the
Purpose section is
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or none?
Everything but 5.
Okay,
Intriguing.
2,
1, 2, 3, 4.
1, 2, 3, 4. Deb?
Well, I had all 6, but then you showed me a new way to look at it that made it
Mhm.
not applicable.
Okay.
So,
And the reason for not applicable is because the purpose of a bylaw is not a minimum control measure. The purpose items in it that address it might be, but a purpose is not. The purpose of a bylaw is to have a bylaw and rules, not for any of the minimum control measures. So that's why I would have gone with not applicable.
Can you explain it?
So a purpose of a bylaw
Mhm.
is not a minimum control measure. The items underneath that purpose that define why they have a purpose, why we had to make a bylaw
Mm.
are to control, are for the minimum controls. But it is not a minimum control to have a purpose defined on a bylaw,
Okay.
in my opinion. Again, I'm not here and I'm a silent partner. So take that for what you will.
Okay.
all right.
Tom? Purpose.
Well, I say, missing 5 and 6. It's interesting though, because our MS4 permit has, well, we state that if an applicant is going before a zoning board of appeals or conservation or planning board, we will require them to do public education and participation.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So that's been a standard.
Okay,
Which is a
so,
good point, that the minimum controls is only part of the picture.
Yeah,
That it's all this other stuff that's in the permit that you have to do.
right.
Correct.
So, but in a building permit though, we do not have that requirement. Right, so it is missing.
so you are on 1, 2, 3,
1, 2, 3, 4.
1, 2, 3, and 4.
I would have been my vote to
Okay,
agree with that.
so we
Okay.
have Janine.
I agree with the 1, 2, 3, 4 only. I don't see any reference to public outreach or participation in the purpose.
Okay, like, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead,
That was
Janine,
it.
sorry.
No, that's
Oh, okay.
So what about G, to promote infiltration and recharge of groundwater? That's not educational.
No,
I read it as, I mean, what's to promote you could do.
Yeah,
installing something.
Yeah, and I also said
Making it happen.
because of the Nifty's permit, that's why I said education and outreach was, because I knew that was in there. I just learned that recently, actually.
You were going beyond the specification here.
So 7 out of 8 are good with applying to 1.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 out of 8 are good in regard to apply to 2. Same thing with 3. 4 is 1, 2. Also 4. So 1, 2, 3, and 4, right? 1, 2, 3, and 4. 5 is 2
Drops off.
out of
yeah.
8.
Yeah.
And then 6 is 1, 2, 3 out of 8,
Okay.
and not applicable as 1. Stand strong.
Oh,
I'm big as
all right, so we see a hole.
We made it through 1.
that. So I'm gonna stick with 1, 2, 3, and 4, because those are the majority
Yeah.
rules ones. The other ones are up for discussion. Okay, so for definitions,
Can we skip that?
can we skip that?
Yeah.
It probably would apply to everything.
There's gotta be something in there that,
Again, my
Anyhow.
definition of what definitions are for is to explain what you're gonna read in a bylaw, not part of the minimum control. But that's just me. That's Deb's.
I said all
little-
six.
little-
Okay.
I said I'll
somewhere it's
You're
in there.
having me be the rogue
I
one.
did, all
You're a
six.
standout. Okay, all six, yep.
I'll six.
I said the five and
It kind of
six.
addresses each one in a one way or another.
Josh, what was
I
yours?
said 2, 3, and 4.
2, 3, and 4, yeah. And Tripp
2, 3, 4, 6.
and Sue, you said all?
Yes,
All six, okay. Deb,
Not a-
you can change your mind if you want.
No, it's
Okay,
Tom,
she's my buddy.
I said, it, I was saying not applicable, but seems like it could be, well, you said there's some definitions in the beta that doesn't match up with this. I think that's,
Yeah, we're
Could
not
be
looking at
revised.
what the definitions are. To
Yeah.
me, you're looking at the fact that there are
Yeah.
definitions, which is just to help somebody get through a bylaw and know what they're
Yeah.
all talking about. And we're all talking about the same
Yeah.
topics.
I did not apply it.
Okay, not applicable.
Janine,
See, yourself. Janine, honey?
Same as 1, 2, 3, 4, although maybe I'm thinking about this wrong.
There is no wrong or right. That's why we're here and having a discussion. You're doing great. Okay, so this one has, it has 1, 2, 3, 4 out of 8, so it's a tie. So you guys will have to decide if you want to include 1. 2 has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 out of 8, so I'd say 2 is a definite yes. 3 has the same, 6 out of 8. Same thing with 4. And then 5 is not there at all. 6 is 1, 2, 3, 4, again, a tie. So 1 and 6, it's kind of a half and half split between you all as to
okay,
if it would be included or not, and not applicable. I have my 2 little rangers. Okay?
Okay.
All righty.
7.3.
7.3, so administration would be applicable to which minimum control measures? Joe, I'll give you a break. I'll start with you, Tom. What's your vote?
I said
I'm
5
still
and
not gonna
6,
5 and 6?
Yeah.
Okay,
but I might be persuaded on some of the other ones too.
Deb?
But just for the,
You come back to me,
Sure.
thanks,
Do you need a few more minutes with the menu?
just a second, please, yes, with the menu.
Sue?
I'm still thinking, but
Okay, we'll come back to you too. You
There
decide.
you
Take
go,
your time.
conservation,
Yes.
represent.
Drip 2. Josh?
2 and 6.
2 and 6.
5 and 6.
Okay, 5 and 6. John?
2.
2. Joe?
Standing strong at all 6.
All 6.
Can't go wrong.
Jenny?
2 and 6.
2 and 6. Okay, it's time to take your drink orders, lady.
I mean, I see all 6.
All 6. Okay, Deb?
I'm going with 5 and 6.
5 and 6. Alrighty, so for this one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 out of 8 voted for number 2 applicability. Yep. And then 3 had 1, 2, so I'd say that's a no. 4 had 1, 2, only had 2. 5, 1, 2, 3 out of 8. So it just skims not quite there.
Right, okay.
6 is pretty much everybody. So that's a total. And then no, not applicable.
So what was number 1?
Number 1 is that,
I know, so we didn't have any number 1.
no number 1.
Okay, so just,
Well, no, there's 2 number 1s, 2 out of 8.
oh, okay,
So it
so
wasn't-
2 and 6.
2 and 6.
Okay.
Okay,
Quickly ask, so for some people who said like all 6, for instance, what, I feel like people are interpreting the 6 maybe differently, or like, obviously we are. Like, What would make you say also?
I feel that the administration and, you know, following through with, the particular regulations, compliance, and I just think it kind of generally refers to, maybe not directly, but, all six.
I mean, a good lawyer can make a case for anything.
Yeah.
You know, it's like how you interpret it, how
Yeah.
you see it. So,
Exactly. We're just trying to get a sense and have a discussion and a conversation so that when somebody sees it a different way, so like if Joe sees it a specific way, maybe his perspective is different because he is the building commissioner and he sees different things. Whereas Tripp's decision might be different because he's a builder, or
Right.
Kevin might see it different as a select board member, or John sees it different as a wastewater individual. It's the whole purpose of this conversation, discussion, and understanding what this bylaw is at the moment.
So what was the consensus on?
2 and 6.
2 and 6?
I was reviewing it more as the outreach for the public hearing process.
That's how I saw it too.
Yeah.
If anything is about process or explaining or not
Yeah.
explaining, just
These are
Making
teaching
aware.
moments. Yeah,
teachable moments.
yeah.
Where I was looking more at the specific words, and the only words that really jumped out were the illicit connections, so
Right.
bingo, that time.
Right.
See, everybody has their own review process.
Okay.
And you guys can change this up at any time. It's just my suggestion to help.
No,
us
you're doing good.
move along.
You're doing good.
I think we should, after this, just talk about the 6.
Okay.
To make sure, like, we all interpret the 6. I mean, you know, we can look and see the wording of the bylaw differently in the bylaw, but maybe we want to make sure we all understand what the 6 are, and are on the same page.
Do we want to review the 6 minimum control measures?
Yeah.
Janine, you okay with that? Okay, all right.
Quick detour.
A quick detour.
Mm.
Segueing to pollution prevention, good housekeeping for municipal operations. This measure addresses runoff from municipal operations such as DPW yards, self-storage areas, vehicle maintenance yards, road construction, and includes what practices town should undertake to operate the stormwater system effectively. So that while it does not say anything about private properties, it does mean that we have to operate the system effectively. So things we put in place on private property to make that happen would be part of number 1.
Okay.
Okay? We good with that?
So in other words, this should be potentially part of like an operation maintenance, whether it's just observing stormwater flow that you are that's coming off your property, or cleanup activities, making sure that you don't have gas cans outside. Which goes on leading to item number 2 as well.
As opposed to the nitty gritty of storing it and the design part of what you're doing. This is the front end of preventing it from getting in there.
Yeah.
This is the
And,
front end of what you should be
and
doing.
cleaning up
Right.
with sort of common sense stuff.
Yeah.
No garage.
To me, the bylaw
drains
is what you should be
to-
doing. The regulations is how you do it.
Right.
No garage floor drains to a driveway
Or 3 and 4
or to.
get into the building stuff and.
Right.
what
All
you
right.
gotta
So
do
number
outside.
2 is illicit discharge. I'm sorry to interrupt you.
Sorry, can I
Illicit
could I just ask a quick clarifying question back on number 1? So when it says municipal operations, that's not limited to just town-owned
It's
facilities?
not limited. It's anything we as a town municipality need to do to comply with the permit. So
Okay.
that includes any limitations or rules or regulations around what private property can or can't do, or commercial property, or whatever those things are. Whatever it takes for us to get to the point to be in compliance with the permit.
Municipal operations are
Correct.
getting in compliance.
Correct.
Yeah.
All right.
Are remaining in
I
compliance.
understood that differently. 'Cause
Yeah.
when I looked at number 2 mentions the MS4 permits. But number 1 does not.
Illicit discharge and elimination program. Illicit discharges are non-stormwater discharges to the storm drain system. Because illicit discharges typically contain bacteria and other pollutants, the MS4 permit requires towns to develop and implement an IDDE program. So basically, the illicit discharge detection and elimination program that we have, essentially, it's an operations plan. It's what we will do to make sure there are no illicit discharges occurring, which means we're going through in CCTV, and we are looking for places to repair things. We are looking for,
Making sure that
illegal-
sewer is not connected to the drain.
right, we're looking for illegal connections. We're looking for all of that stuff. So somewhere in our bylaw, it should be that, you can't connect to the sewer system just because, heck, I feel like it with your, washing machine water. However, that would be part of the IDDE because that's something we have to implement and do.
Right, the IDDE is part of the #1 municipal operations.
It is a portion of it,
Okay,
yes,
a
but basically,
portion.
we just need to remove anything that's causing these random swallows of large pollution to happen.
Okay,
Somebody's dumping stuff down their drains, those kinds of things we find.
Yeah, but I.
Oily sheen
to-
in
to
water,
your-
we
your-
need to
your-
investigate where that goes.
Josh's point, I think the reason that the words MS4 get into #2 are because they have contaminants and pollution associated with it, whereas up in the overall conventional stormwater, then automatically that's sort of umbrellaed in. So I mean, they could have easily put MS4 up in that first item as well.
Yeah, I think the
it's
first one
An
is,
important point to make on #2.
yeah, I think the first one is more pollution that occurs, dare I say, organically, like it just it happens because it runs over the roadways, it collects and picks up things on the way. IDDE is more people intentionally connecting or causing
non-stormwater.
non-stormwater, causing issues with our
Yeah.
stormwater.
Bad stuff.
Is that better? Is that clearer? Okay,
I think #2 actually is the most specific one.
it is.
It's, I mean, it's the clearest.
It has its own document.
Exactly.
It's
yeah,
that
yeah,
specific.
yeah.
Okay.
It has its own several page document.
Uh-oh,
And by
okay,
several, I mean,
okay.
Does the IDDE program include enforcement and compliance as part of that for Needham?
No, so the enforcement and compliance is the bylaw.
Oh.
I mean, it does, but it doesn't. The IDDE plan, it just lays out what we're gonna do to find any connections and how we're going to remove them and what we would
Oh, okay.
require of people. I mean, it has some enforcement in it, like if you have an illicit connection, we give you, I don't know, whatever the amount of, like 30 days or whatever to remove it, or 30 days from a hiring of a contractor, or whatever the precipitating structure around it is. But as far as enforcement, like you're gonna get fined for it, that would have to come from the bylaw.
Makes sense.
And Kim,
Yes.
I'm back to #1, I'm sorry. One is very general,
Yes.
and as we were saying, it includes practices towns should undertake to operate stormwater systems effectively. That's assuming the MS4 permit there too, correct?
Yeah, we wouldn't have to do any of these control measures if we didn't have an MS4.
Right, okay, yeah, I guess my question is, how specific this #1 is?
Number one is essentially in layman's terms saying, do whatever you have to do to allow your system to work effectively with as minimal amount of pollution entering your system. To only be working with clean stormwater,
Along the,
which is
And-
physically impossible, but sure. Yes,
okay. Okay,
yes. As soon as a bird poops on your roof, it's impossible to have clean stormwater. But hey,
See, when-
EPA feels we can control that.
When EPA created the minimum controls, 25 years ago? I mean, it goes way back in time. I mean, they were trying to keep it simple and say, here are the minimum things that you need to do related to stormwater. Big. Whereas for point source pollution, it was much more discreet. You could get numeric on it. So this is sort of carried forth for a couple of decades since the terminology was first created.
Right.
And it was intended to really be kept general.
All right, so construction site runoff control, federal construction general permit. I have no idea why the general permit matters, but already requires owners and operators to file a notice of intent for construction activity disturbing more than 1 acre of land. Towns may wish to adopt stricter local rules. So in other words, what we were discussing last time with Melissa, that even though 1 acre or more is the threshold, you're not going to capture a whole lot or have to require anybody to do anything, because not a lot of people have 1 acre or more of land. So you might want to make your threshold smaller in order to be able to capture those construction activities. Tripp would love it if you kept it at 1 acre.
That's the 4,000.
That's
Uh,
the 4,000 they came with in their sample bylaw.
Yeah. Are we good with that post-construction runoff stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I mean, post, the
construction
construction site
site.
runoff, yeah.
Right.
Post-construction runoff control, this measure requires ongoing stormwater management after construction is completed. So basically, post-construction runoff control is the requirement of the dry wells and things of that nature. If you add more impervious surface to your land, well, impervious cover 25% or more is what we have as a threshold right now. I need to remove my teeth. They're just in the way today. So post-construction runoff control can also mean after you've constructed it, sometimes conservation requires you to report on your O&M plans or report that you're doing the maintenance as described in whatever BMP you have installed on your property.
Wow.
Operations and maintenance. You just want me to say big words. don't you?
Okay.
Operations and maintenance. So in other words, if you have a dry well on your property and the house has been sold 4 times, you don't even know it's there, you're clearly not doing operations and maintenance on it because you don't even know it's there. But if you did know it was there, are you maintaining it? Are you going out and making sure that we don't have a root system growing through it? Are you going in there and making sure that the grates or things that are allowing water in are clear and open and free of debris? Are you, any of that stuff? Is that any of that happening?
Okay.
You could also argue that it includes the enforcement part of it too, post-construction,
Post-construction runoff control? It probably,
because that isn't getting called out anywhere else in the minimum.
I think they
controls.
basically leave enforcement out of any of the minimum controls because how we enforce it is up to us.
Okay.
Because if we don't enforce something, it just makes more work for us in the long run because we're gonna be held to these
Okay.
criteria.
I would also say it has to do with our, just typical runoff from a proposed project. Are you gonna be seeing more water volume or rate runoff coming off the property after construction? And then you can get into operation and maintenance where, yeah, for the time being, it's gonna be less, but then as you're not operating and maintaining the system, then it's gonna get, it's gonna go back to pre-construction conditions, where you're sending more water if your dry well is clogged.
Mhm.
But that might just make the point of pre and post conditions to evaluate on a construction site.
Are the construction, post-construction runoff controls currently in the stormwater management and erosion control plans? Is that where they are
No,
documented?
construction site runoff controls like the erosion control measures. And the way I'm interpreting the post-construction runoff controls, you're showing that you are not increasing the runoff after a project's completed. I mean, that's how I'm interpreting those two.
So like, how's it work today? Like, so if there's a building permit, you have to submit a construction, stormwater management plan, erosion control plan, right?
Yeah, so show the erosion control on the building permit application.
The erosion control and the infiltration system.
And then you show 1 inch of collection.
That's how you size it.
And then.
Yeah.
Then the bylaw assumes that you meet the requirement if you're under 4,000 square feet of impervious area, that you meet it if you collect 1 inch off the roof.
And is there a post-construction plan somewhere in that document?
As far as, no.
Like, how do you know that it's still working? It's
Yeah,
still
you
there?
sign
Yeah,
off on
we
the
don't,
permit.
we don't have a procedure to monitor.
We don't have a mechanism as of
Operate.
right now to do that.
Correct.
Can we
So
get
for
one?
conservation permits, our permit is
Staff
attached to
and
the
time.
deed, which has ongoing conditions.
But isn't
so
that
the
where
next owner
really the second
Can
document?
see what we expect
Yeah,
as
Melissa,
Regulation.
far as maintenance.
yes,
One second.
yes, sorry,
One conversation. You were saying. sorry.
conservation. sorry.
Yeah, so conservation, our permits are attached to the deed so that the, the next people that purchase the property understand, and it has ongoing conditions,
Okay.
such as maintenance of the stormwater systems and such.
And
Yeah.
attaching it to a deed, I'm assuming there's a cost for that.
Yeah, but it's required.
No,
So,
I understand. I'm just saying, like, are we, if we do
Who
it for
who picks up the
everything.
cost?
Of
adding
the
it to
deed?
Yeah.
According to the deed, yeah.
that's the homeowner.
Yeah.
Exactly. So if you have builders like Tripp doing construction, then
ZBA
he would be
decisions and planning board
responsible for
decisions
putting
also
it on
get
a deed
recorded.
if he added it to
No,
a
no,
property, so
no.
that would add to his costs essentially.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah,
$110.
So is there a
Yeah.
requirement that they
I'm not saying it's too
submit
much of
to
it.
the conservation
Yeah.
commission, like yearly reports or something, or is it just?
They
say
need
you
to
must
be
have-
available
they need to be
if we
available?
request them.
Which leads into the question of, and not that it's related to the stormwater bylaw, however, it is tangentially related to it. The stormwater utility that we just put in place, we currently do not have an abatement process for it. Part of an abatement, or not abatement, a credit process, I shouldn't say abatement, it's the wrong word, credit process. So in other words, if you have infiltration on your property, if you have rain gardens, if you have permeable pavements, we don't have any way to calculate that at the moment, not calculate, but to account for that right now. And to regularly require them to report it is great. But then the question becomes, how do you get those reports?
Right.
Who gets those reports? Who catalogs those reports? Who tracks them? Who finds them and who confirms them?
So 11,000 reports, just says 11,000
Right, yeah, possibly, but
every 2 years
Hmm.
coming into your office, and you'd have to process those 11,000.
Yes.
A lot of these.
And I have to be honest with you, I am not relishing that.
Right.
That portion of the job, if that is what it is, because I am the only one who deals with it in a decent town. So that's me.
So as a side
That's job security.
conversation.
Yeah, I've got plenty of job security.
So, Bader, who showed up at the last meeting, was proposing to us at a separate meeting.
Yep.
Of a GIS app,
A solution, yeah.
solution that people could upload their report.
But at the same time, there needs to be somebody on the other end, on the back
You
end,
know, decide
who's
whether-
looking at it, QCing it, and making sure what they're actually submitting is correct, and what you, it's a permit process essentially with a workflow. So if there's gonna be a workflow, there's an administrative cost to doing that, because it's
So
probably
they would
not
need
good
to
that I'm
have
the
a
one who says yes
professional
or no.
sign off on these so that,
Yeah.
this is what we're saying, and then there would need to be a criteria of who could sign off on that.
Correct?
Yeah,
And then
depending on
they're
the-
held responsible if it's true or not.
But then you also have to figure that a certain percentage of people just aren't going to comply. And how do you enforce that?
Right.
Do you start issuing fines, taking people to court? Do you
And is
look at
every
any
2
of that?
years the right time frame? Because if it's a rain garden, my rain garden can die by the end of the year. I mean, if it's me, I
Right.
would kill anything that grows. I grow kids and that's it. Plants and me do not get along. So I could easily not, I could say I have a rain garden because I just put one in. But by September, I no longer really have a rain garden. It's just a pile of mud.
Mhm.
It's really not functioning like a rain garden. So how frequently are you asking them to update that? If it's every 2 years, then they're getting this potential discount. Not that I'm saying it's gonna be a huge amount, but stop with the 10%. It's like 1-2% credits or something like that. It might not even be worth the conversation for somebody, or it might not even be worth their effort to go
Right.
through to get a professional landscape or whoever to say, yes, this qualifies as this, or I've had an engineering firm say this is it. But at the same time, we have to have it available. I don't want to discourage people from putting in a rain garden because they should. It's good for the environment. It's overall good for your health, and people love to garden and they do a beautiful job at it. I'm just not one of them, so I will never have a rain garden.
So
on the post-construction runoff control, it sounds like there aren't any provisions right now in the bylaw.
Other than what is in conservation
Other than conservation.
or planning, no, unless they have an order of conditions, not really.
That's why there's a permit process and there's an as-built process.
Oh.
To make sure that you fulfilled what you said you were gonna do.
Okay.
And then there's a sign off at CO, so, yeah, you did what you're supposed to do.
Are you talking about the as-built plans?
Yeah,
That's-
I'm just trying to
that's
touch on like after construction.
Yeah, so
process.
is the as-built plans, is that correct? It kind of concludes the post-construction runoff
Yeah.
plan.
That's the way I see
Is
it.
that right?
Yeah.
It just stops short of
Is it that-
saying if it's
that's the
working,
end.
what
Yeah,
happens
that's
if,
what I'm saying.
There is no post.
if there was anything, 4 years from now, we find, hey, my neighborhood's now flooding. Oh, because you put in 4 houses up here and they actually didn't do what we thought they were going to do. There's no post anything to say, we have records saying these things are still functioning and they're fine, so it's not due to this or caused by this. So it's just like a round and round type thing. Not through any fault of any builder or planning or whatever they're doing. It's just, it kind of stops right after the permit's done. Once the permit's closed, it's done.
Right, close, that's.
Whereas,
good to go.
which is what, but,
Conservation,
thank you, conservation.
since you're pointing, I assume,
Conservation
we have
has
ongoing conditions.
ongoing orders of conditions. We don't have those. And for Joe and his team to
I know.
process that for, I think,
Yeah,
oh,
I know.
I think I did my last report for permits issued was like 800 for like 3 months.
Right,
He doesn't have staff to ongoing condition 800 permits.
But, well, this is like another conversation, implementation. It might not have to be a regular thing, but just having the power to monitor it in case there's a complaint could be more than we have today.
Yes. That might be something you want to put in the memo. Okay.
good to know.
So last two really quick, I'm gonna kind of combine them because they're kind of extremely related to each other. But public education and outreach, towns are encouraged to form partnerships and distribute educational materials to diverse local audiences within the community as part of the formal education program. Public participation and involvement, EPA suggests communities give the public opportunity to play an active role in development and implementing the MS4 program. I will say that generally speaking, I'm surprised that you guys are finding those two are applicable by the bylaw, because to me, those minimum control measures are more on the municipality, like on our responsibility for administering it. They really aren't something that in a bylaw they would have to comply with. It's something we have to do to comply with the permit, but it's not necessarily something you have to comply with. You have to include in a bylaw, because it's not really a bylaw that we're following. We're following compliance process
Okay.
for the permit. So I'm finding it shocking when you guys are like all 6, because I find it shocking that that would be a part of any bylaw.
Well, I
Okay.
guess when it says towns are encouraged.
We are
that's
encouraged.
the key word.
We do have certain criteria that we're supposed to meet, and in our notice of intent, we stated what we would, so we have to at minimum meet those criteria, which we try our darndest to do every year. We may exceed or slightly come in under it, but we do really try, pandemic excluded. Public education, I mean, we post things on social media, we have the website, we
have the
are,
stormwater model.
we
that
have the
Clay used to bring
stormwater
around.
model that Clay would present, and he's gonna
Hey.
have to come down from,
Yeah. that's right.
Mars or wherever he went to.
Yeah,
To come and do the stormwater model presentations. And then for public participation, we include things like the hazardous health. Household hazardous waste day, because the public comes and drops off their hazardous waste. The leaf collection days that we have at the RTS, because they're open aside from that. Arbor Day events that we have, the townwide cleanup. These are all things that contribute to stormwater or to water quality that we count as public participation.
Okay.
When they used to load the fish and have the fishing derby in the reservoir out back,
Hmm.
that was also something with public
they
participation.
did it this year. That was
Oh,
out there.
okay. Well, then
It's
then
brutal
it'll be
every
on my
single
report
year.
this year. I haven't got that far yet.
The kids with their buckets chucking the poor fish that get concussions off things, or they chuck the bucket. It's really, it's entertaining every year I go up. sorry.
But they don't fit. And even speaking of the model, the watershed model comes into a play there too, because Clay also this year, I think it was this year, presented to North Hill and he presented at the Harvest Fair.
Yes, at the Harvest Fair, and we also did one for the garden club.
Oh, yep, and the Garden Club.
Okay.
Okay.
We got it on tape.
Janine, do you have any other questions or clarifications you'd like to make?
No, that was really helpful. Thank you.
Okay, great. All right, do we want to quickly go through this or do we
Sure.
want to finish it up the next time we meet?
Oh, yeah, how you guys feeling? Quarter past.
That's what.
8.
See,
If we can do it in 5 minutes,
okay.
All right, I'm just gonna take polls and see how far we get.
okay.
Let's make a run.
All right, so applicability, permits and approvals.
One.
Janine,
Sorry, scrolling.
it's okay. Permits and approvals,
I had 3 and 4.
3 and 4, okay. Tom,
3, 4, yeah.
3 and 4. Deb,
3 and 4.
3 and 4. Sue,
3 and 4.
3 and 4. I'm sensing a theme. Trip, 3 and 4. Josh, 3 and 4. Evan,
4.
wow, you're just testing my limits tonight, aren't you? 3, okay, and
3 and 4.
3 and 4, okay, so I'm gonna say it's a pretty jolly well.
Janine, I'm sorry.
Yep, we did
Janine
Janine
first.
first, yes. I try and give everybody a chance to go first, you know? Stormwater management and erosion control. Deb, take it away, what do you got?
Wait, no, don't pick me.
Don't pick me either.
Yeah, skip conservation for now.
Skip, okay, stormwater management and erosion control, Trip, take it away.
1, 3.
1 and 3. Josh,
3.
3 and 4. Kevin,
1 and 3.
1 and 3. John,
3 and 4.
3 and 4.
3 and
Joe,
4.
3 and 4. Tom,
1 and 3.
1 and 3. Janine? I'm sorry, can you say that one more time?
3 and 4.
3 and
All
4.
right, the tiebreaker.
Right.
I love it.
3 and 4.
3 and 4 is Deb. Sue?
1, 3 and 4.
1, 3 and 4. Sue's the people pleaser.
We're getting good.
Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4 out of 8 for 1. Yes or no? Kind of an even split, I'd say.
Yeah.
All right, 3 is pretty much everybody, so I say 3. Nobody had 2, and 4 is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 out of 8. So 4 is it. So 3 and 4 essentially is what that section applies to. Okay.
What was the consensus for the definitions? What was the,
All of them?
was that the consensus?
All of them
No,
or
I
none of
did, I did all. of
Well,
them.
none.
No, 2, 3, and 4.
Or NA. Was it NA?
Definitions with 2, 3, and 4.
Thanks.
Nobody agreed with my NA.
I thought I did. I always
Okay,
agree with you.
nobody agreed with Deb and I.
I would agree.
I
with
thought
you
I
now.
did too.
Oh, for definitions, yes, you did, I'm sorry.
We're
my
going to
apologies.
regulated activities.
Okay, you note modification of building permits. I think is the next one, isn't it? Modification of building permits. 1. Oh no, so we'll start with Joe again.
1 and 4.
Wait,
One.
wait, wait, on the sheet.
Yeah, when they put a staple in it, it's hard. to find.
I'm sorry, it's, you flip it over
Yeah,
and it's the next page. So if you flip up,
yes, but I just flipped and flipped again. So now it's
It
ahead.
should look like that.
it's like a pancake, don't flip too many times.
Modification.
Yeah.
Okay, John, modification of building
3
permits.
and 4.
3 and 4, thank you, sir. Kevin,
Still have to, but sorry.
Josh, 3 and 4,
Back side.
3 and
Ah, there we
4,
go.
Kevin,
3.
3 and 4. Sue,
I'd say 3 and 4.
3 and 4. Deb?
Yep.
Okay, Tom,
3, 4.
3 and 4, Janine?
4.
3 and 4. So I'm gonna say 3 and 4 win by a landslide. Modification requiring planning board, zoning board of appeals, and or conservation commission approval. Josh, you go first.
3 and 4.
3 and 4. Trip,
2 through 4.
2, 3, 4. Sue,
Oh, I think lost.
3 and 4.
3
It's
and
gotta
4.
be 3 for me.
Deb,
I don't know. I don't know.
Abstain.
I think it's 3 and 4.
I'm a 3 and 4.
okay,
I have to order pizza for my family for dinner.
okay, you
And
go
they
ahead and do
close
that.
at 9.
You go ahead and do
Go
that.
for it.
So I'm gonna have to do that.
You go ahead and do that. Tom,
3 and 4.
3 and
I
4.
apologize.
Janine,
I have 3, 4, and 6.
3, 4, and 6. Okay,
1
Joe?
for 4.
1 through 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and John,
3 and 4.
3 and 4.
3.
3 and 4. Oh, yeah, I already got you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8. Okay, so I see 3 and 4 as a definite, and that's pretty much it. 2's got a couple, and 1 and 6, and we got 1 each. Okay, prohibited activities applies to. Take it away, John.
2.
2. Kevin,
1 and 2.
1 and 2. John, 2. Sure. 1 and 2. Sue,
2.
2. Tom,
2.
Joe,
1 and 2.
1 and 2. And Janine,
1 and 2.
1 and 2. I'm gonna say
I'll go,
2,
yeah, I'm gonna go with 1 as well, too.
add
For this
1
one.
to it. Yeah, okay, so 1 and 2. Alrighty, next topic is regulated activities. Okay,
2.
Josh,
1 and 2.
1 and 2.
1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Sue,
1 and 2.
1, 2.
Yep,
Deb,
I concur.
Tom,
I have 1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3. Janine,
1 through 4.
2, 3, 4. Joe,
1 through 3.
1 through 3. 1, 2, 3. All right, so I would say 1, 2. John, did I get
Two.
you? 2. 1, 2, 3. Oh, it's okay. 1, 2, 3. So 2 is a definite. 1 has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 3 3s and 1 4. So 1 and 2 wins. Exemptions. Trip, you start.
Sure.
Not applicable also works. Just reminding everybody. Just reminding you, you do not have to fit a square
Yeah, I'll do that.
box in a round peg. Round peg in a square hole. I can't, I'm so tired.
So not applicable.
NA, okay. Sue, what do you got?
I would still go for 1 on that.
1, okay, Deb?
I'm gonna go with NA.
No, I don't. Okay, Tom?
And I,
NA. Janine?
NA.
I love you all.
Okay.
Joe? John?
NA.
Kevin?
Yeah, I was conflicted about this one, but strict was any.
So NA wins. Emergency suspension of storm drain system access. Sue, you want to start off?
Debbie should start.
Oh, don't even.
Is that what we just did?
I would say
check window, yeah.
No, it's 1 below the exemptions.
Is that like a illicit discharge? That's on purpose, right? No illicit
Yeah.
discharge. So
Yeah.
yes, I would go with 1.
Tom?
And 1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3.
Oh, yeah.
Janine?
I had 2.
Joe?
1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3.
2 and 3.
2 and 3. Kevin?
1.
1. Josh?
2.
2.
I said 2.
So 2 is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 out of 8. I'd say that passed. 1 is 1, 2, 3, 4. So I guess no. 1, 2, 3 for 3 is no, and nobody had anything else. So 2 it is. Stormwater management and erosion control.
So 2 was the consensus on the emergency?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So under the next section, there's a couple of subsections. So regulated activities under stormwater management and erosion control. Regulated activities, Deb, take it away.
3 and 4.
Good.
Hey,
Tom?
Three.
3.
sure, make me look bad, Tom.
Janine?
Okay.
3 and 4. See, Janine agrees with you, so you're in good company. You're good. Joe?
3 and 4.
3 and 4. And so Joe, see, look.
3 and 4.
3 and 4. Evan?
3 and 4.
3 and 4. Josh? 3 and 4.
1 through 4.
1 through 4. All right, so I'm gonna say 3 and 4 wins by a landslide.
Don't pick me first again.
Same thing for exempt activities, as I would assume would be 2, just like the
Yeah.
previous section, okay? Is everybody okay with 2?
Good.
Yes, okay. All righty. Next page. And I have general requirements, pre-construction.
I can only give 5 more minutes,
I
just so
hear
you
you.
know.
Okay.
Okay, do we want to continue or do we want to stop there at that point and continue on next week? In 2 weeks?
Stop. All right, let's stop.
I'm sorry.
It might be a good idea to kind of have time to look over it too.
Okay,
Yeah.
with a new understanding, yeah.
Yeah.
I will update the document in the, on the site to reflect what we've already discussed up to this point.
Okay, that'd
Okay.
be great. Thank you.
Sure.
I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Oh, thank you.
I second.
All right,
Second.
great. Janine? Adjourn or yes? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes, okay. Joe?
Yes.
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 Yes. I vote yes. Unanimous.
Woohoo.
Kim,
Yes.
what's her homework?
Review the site to make sure everything is okay. Before everybody leaves really quick, I just want to, you don't need the introduction, you already read this. But I don't know if everybody got to meet Joe. This is his first attendance at our meeting.
Welcome,
So
Joe.
snaps for Joe. We're all legally belong here. So he is the building commissioner. So if you have any questions about building
The
permits,
commish.
buildings, anything, the commish. Do you remember that show?
I
That
do.
was Such a good
I
show.
do.
I love that show.
I know.
Horrible to watch today, but it
Sorry
was
about
so
that
good at the
tangent.
time.
Can I make a request?
Yes.
So we've kind of talked in and out about what's wrong with the current bylaw. It would really help me to have the stakeholders who are here take a few minutes and give conservation, construction, elected officials, the engineering, like to kind of hear your piece of what needs to be improved. So if everybody could take a couple minutes, to me, that would really help.
I
At
will
least
add
in
that to
my
the
mind,
agenda.
solidify
Thank you.
stuff.
Yeah, I will send over the agenda items for next time. I believe you are not here for the next meeting. Okay, agenda, so when you go to approve the agenda items, I will add that as an item. Each individual.
So the next one's
Yes.
August 6th.
There it is. All right, so we have adjourned, so.
And my husband's having
All right, thank
surgery
you.
and I'm off to the.
That's extra.
Okay, if you could
Bye.
provide your comments.
Thanks,
if you
bye.
don't- Bye, Janine, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Enjoy the site.
Will do.
So anyways, look at the site. If you guys have anything about the site that is questionable, can't get in, can't see, want to see, whatever, please let me know. Yes, it is.
The next meeting. Well, I will not physically be here. My husband had a church.
This
is me.
Maybe actually Joe.
So I took that week off.
Could we ever sort of post
I
a-
might work and then it's supposed to run my office,
post
so,
a,
you know.
just to see like what they covered, like what's included.
So I'll probably.
I mean, yes. Could you send me an email?
I will send. you-
That would be great.
I will send. you.
Yes.
Like maybe like one for less than 4,000 square feet, and then one.
So you want one for specific,
The regulation.
for a home or something?
Yeah, one
Okay.
that's like recent, just to see what else. Yeah,
Okay, yeah. a version of
Yeah,
that, yeah.
I can send my
Dave-
one, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, I'll send.
Dave sent his.
Thank you.
Yeah, they're in the Dropbox.
I will forget by the time I do at the door tonight, so please, please
Send it
email,
tonight,
that
'cause
would
I'll
be
forget
great.
if I don't send it.
Thank you. Give me at least a few days, if not next week to get back to you. Okay, okay. I will add everybody's input onto the agenda for next week to have it at least, if somebody's not going to be here, maybe I can have them, send over a
Yeah.
the
Because
document, we can just read
it's
off.
hard when everybody's got great ideas, but it would be good to just sort of hear 2 minutes of testimony from the key stakeholders who are gonna live with this thing.
Yeah.
I will likely be on Zoom next time.
No, and he wants to make some kind of guide.
Sorry. Kim,